don't ask me where Fanofa Street is. We're talking flying the flag. In fact, knowing a lot more than just where you live, really. And I've got AC Ansa and Rodney Hyde Longden joining me. They're both from Citizen Ghana Movement, so we're going to be talking about what they launched yesterday. Good morning. Thanks for coming.
Morning.
So flying the flag. I don't have to ask you, because by now, if you didn't have a flag in your car, you must.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what was the campaign about, really? I mean, apart from flying the flag.
Thanks a lot for having us. The focus was just waking Ghanaians up to the ideal that no matter what our differences are, political, religious, ethnic, etc., if we look at the flag as a symbol that unites us, then it's important to always fly the flag to remind us of what's important. And so it's really a long-term, campaign. We're just starting. It's a launch, and then we'll have series of activities to just remind people that it's Ghana first. Ghana is the most important thing, not my personal preferences, etc.
Okay, Rodney, why do we need that now?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. Too much has gone wrong in this country, in the past decades, and particularly in the past 10 years. The past few years have been quite horrid, and it gets to a point you can't sit back and not get involved. Ghanaians have been touted as being too docile, and over the years we've sat back and allowed politicians to dictate to us the narrative. I think it's about time we remind them that we put them there, they serve us, we pay for their being there, and they've been tasked to do certain things, and they must do them. And the divisions and all those things that they try to come at us with, their wanton partisan positioning over very nationalistic things that should be looked at from a national perspective. All of that has led us to this point. So it gets to a point we need to speak up, and I think it's about time we did so.
Isn't this a typical exercise for the NCCE, for instance?
Well, ideally. So let's just say, I'll be charitable and say we're supporting, whatever they're doing.
Charitable.
Because you look at, there was a clip of the child singing the national anthem and being asked questions, etc., and this child has it all wrong. So civic education is important. Deal with children, deal with adults, and in the middle of that, you create this sense of patriotism, this sense of, look, we're all in this together. We have nowhere else to go. I mean, some of us, God forbid, should anything happen, where are we going to? Nowhere. So it's really important that we start sending the message. It's all about Ghana. It's Ghana first. That's it. That's the most important thing.
Ronnie, who are we targeting? Are we targeting as young as the little boy we saw?
You see, this is not just rallying around a flag to educate people on their rights and that sort of thing. It's not just that. It is getting Ghanaians to speak up and put their politicians to work. That is what this is about.
So
it starts from a certain
flag
angle.
is a symbol.
It's a symbol that brings us together to be able to now go to them and say, hey, we put you there for a reason. You better get to it, or we find a way of dealing with you. And that's basically what this is all about.
So if I have a flag flying on my roof, for instance, and I see it every day, it should be speaking to me. What should it be telling me?
First of all, you're a Ghanaian. First of all, this is your land. Second of all, that's your land. Third of all, you need to understand that because you're a Ghanaian and this is your land, you must ensure that whatever that the land is supposed to give you, you get. Because you yourself have given off yourself to the land. That's basically what this is all
like
about.
a verse in the Bible.
No, but even the Bible makes several references to this sort of thing. I mean, as much as we have, we demand, we also have a responsibility. So it's a question of a balance, and how to create that balance. Unfortunately, over the years, it seems we, the citizens, have been playing our part quite okay. Maybe not too well, but quite okay. Whereas the politicians have been terribly abysmal.
And to add to that, for me personally, reaching people and getting them to think is very important.
Yeah.
Getting people to question the status quo and to see themselves as part of the solution. Very often you hear people talking about, oh, government must come to our aid. You know, we need this, we need that, and it's always government. Yes, we have to hold them to account. However, what can you do where you are? If you're littering and you're creating an environment where you have choked gutters, where you have, in fact, you're not intentional about keeping a beautiful, environment, then you can tackle that in your own small corner. Then you can actually ask the politicians and the leaders, look, I'm doing my part. It's a social contract. I'm holding you to what you're expected to do. So it's really getting people to play their roles as good citizens and then demand good governance in return.
Okay. Running after Jamestown yesterday, do you go somewhere else?
Watch out.
Oh, just like that.
Just watch out. We're going everywhere you can think of, because every Ghanaian, irrespective of your social standing, look, once you are born in this country, once you hold title to this country's citizenship, once you're a part of the activities of this country, look, no matter what you do, once you generate a 0.000 ad infinitum 1 of the GDP of this country, you have a right to speak.
So let me find out why you went to Jamestown. I mean, why did you do it there?
Well, this is a citizens movement, right? So you want to start amongst citizens. And so Jamestown is really the starting point where you're engaging people at the grassroots level, which is one of the things we want to do. And so there'll be a variety of events and programs. So beyond educating, you asked earlier about the target audience. Just think of a whole spectrum, right? So that you may have programs that are targeting people in different communities, programs where you have a seminar and it's all a different kind of group that you are engaging with. There's Jamestown. Hopefully, one of the things we hope to do is to actually move around and conscientize people, wake them up. Will we do it all in a day? No. So you need the stamina. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So we kind of rolling out, and then as we go along, also picking ideas from citizens as you talk to them. And they're saying things like, I have things on my heart, I want to speak. You want to create the platform for citizens to actually air their views, and when they do, you use the opportunity to teach them. Yes, so it's great you're asking for this. This is your right. This is your responsibility. Those two have to go hand in hand.
Critically, were the people in Jamestown involved in yesterday's activity?
Oh, wow, we should have been there. It was massive. It was massive. I mean, we had people. There was a segment that wasn't covered, much by the media, where lots of those who came, especially the older people, were telling us of the Ghana they knew some years ago, and how that has pretty much disappeared over the years, and now it's NDC bringing T-shirts, MPP bringing T-shirts, sharing monies and things like that. Things without any conscience, where the politics, where the conversation, everything has gone down to who is MPP and who is NDC and not who is Ghana, and a whole lot. And you can hear there's a lot of wisdom in the things they're saying and the things they hope for their grandchildren. And also, it was amazing. Look, when you talk to people, then you know that people have a massive store of so much knowledge and wisdom. It's just a question of how we tap into that to be able to change the narrative, and it's very key. They were very, very much involved.
One thing that your critics would say is, so when you talk and then what? When you talk, then so?
For me personally, I think you think first, you talk, and then you act. The talking is just the starting point, and talking is really about raising awareness. And so talking, it's a dialogue. We learn from each other that way. As we talk and you have conversations, the young people realize, oh, it's been better than this. Wow. So there's something else. What do we do to get there? The older people get to share that wisdom, the younger people get to learn. You talk about it, people are educated about their rights and their responsibilities. So for example, if you go into a community where there was supposed to be connection to the electricity grid and there's nothing, and if you know that, let's say, funds that were set aside for that have been used for something else. You inform the people. Get them to question. Get them to ask their leaders, what happened? We're holding you to account. Where we can, we will take you out. If we need to go and vote you out, we will. If we need to do something, you know, on our part to make sure that this happens. If it means, oh, initially we didn't want you to, you know, dig trenches along the road for whatever reason. Sometimes there's superstition, etc., etc. You educate the people and, okay, now we're allowing you, come and do it. We're expecting the light. You know, this is what we're doing. This is what we're getting in return. I think talking is the beginning. And talking, even if, I don't say even if it's only talking, talking wakes people up here. Once you wake people up here, they are malleable, they're ready, they can, you know, you can engage them in nation building. And I think that's important.
Sure. You've got good intentions. The campaign yesterday, I mean the launch, that's some great efforts. But some people still think that you're a political pressure group. You just want to put a lot more pressure on the NDC government in particular and get them out.
You see, I always approach it from this perspective. Politics, yes, when we speak, it's politics. Every day we wake up, we take decisions, that's politics. What we are doing is very much political. It is non-partisan, but very much political. And it's not about, you know, NDC or NPP. It's about politicians, the jobs we've given them, the tasks we've assigned them, because they came to us and asked us to give them that opportunity. It is about asking them to do what they're supposed to do. If that is politics, well, yes, that is politics. You know, irrespective of whether it's NPP or NDC or QYZ in power, that's neither here nor there, because you see, whichever political party may hold the reins of power at any particular point in time, no electricity is no electricity. It has nothing to do with whether it's party A or party B. You know, no water is no water. Cholera in the capital city of, you know, a country that was rising up in 2015, that's disgraceful. That's utter disgrace. It doesn't speak well of a nation. Your capital city, in the heart itself, where it's the hub of, you know, all things good and whatever in West Africa and all of those things. You know, we have cholera here. That's disgraceful. That we must question. Why aren't the sanitation agencies doing what they're supposed to do? Those who've been contracted to do what they're supposed to do, why are they not doing it? Those who've been asked to enforce the law, why are they not doing it? Why is there the law? If people will do the right thing all the time, then there's no point in having the law. But there's a law. But the law means that somebody must enforce it. So if that's not being done, we must question. That has nothing to do with whether it's NDC or MPP that's in power. There's a politician sitting there whose job it is to ensure that this is done. And that person has to bear the full brunt of, you know, of all our questions and everything. And that's what we are talking about.
Finally, how would we begin to see, in terms of the results of this effort that you're putting in?
Some of the things that I would like to see, for example, would be where public leaders, politicians go into a community, they should answer to more questions. Instead of the people, oh, have you brought us T-shirts? Have you brought us this? No. Now you come in there and they know what you're supposed to have done. And so they ask you more questions. They put you on your toes. Well, don't give us money here. Answer this question. Why is it that this is happening or this is not happening? So getting the citizens to be a little more awake. I would like to presume that we have politicians and public leaders who have a conscience.
Yeah.
That's a presumption. So that as we engage and as we do these things and we hold them to account, they will find it necessary to respond. They will find it necessary to act where they need to. Where if there's something they haven't done, they will speak to it. Otherwise, I mean, we're doomed as a nation. We need to have people in office who say, okay, they may not tell us the full story. That may happen. But when we ask the question, somebody's got to answer. And then if we realize, look, they're not being honest with us or they're not doing what they're supposed to, we put them out. You know, and it's really not like, I think Rodney said it very aptly. It's not about any party. It's really about us as citizens, we as citizens, figuring out what our rights and responsibilities are and acting on that.
All right, Ronnie, anything else you want to add to?
Well, basically, Ghanaians should get involved, and they should watch out. This is a movement for everyone. This is not a movement for a certain elite group or a certain closed association. No, this is a movement for everyone.
Have you come to stay?
Yes.
Oh, we have from 1st July when we started with Occupy Flagstaff House. We're here, so we are staying.
Because you're part of Occupy Ghana and then now Citizen Ghana movement.
Well, we set up Occupy Ghana, and we have brought Citizen Ghana movement. So we are here to stay.
So are you just setting up, the groups?
See it this way. Right now, the focus of Citizen Ghana is to make sure that we're not just leaving the grassroots, citizens behind. So regardless of what history is, right now we're here to stay. The intentions are good. The people involved are good. There are many people who are calling, want to be part of this, and that's what we want.
Yeah.
Where people say, when we ask people to fly the flag, it's really to say, I'm Ghanaian #1, and that's it. And there are people who are eager. There are good people in this country. We need to engage all of them.
Sure. So what's the plan? Because I think the last time I asked Sarah, are we registering to be part of it?
It's an open movement. We're actually registering us in to have a database of people that we can access, etc. But nothing stops anyone from reaching us. Because we're doing rebranding, etc. We're going to be doing putting out website, etc., etc., and keeping people involved. So those who are on social media registering, and as we go into the communities, not everybody's on social media, not everybody's literate. So as we go into the communities, we'll be gathering information on the people who are interested and who want to be involved. And really, it's not about where you're from, etc., etc. It's open to everybody.
Yeah. My prayer is that people would get to understand, and then we'll begin to talk issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
hopefully we'll get there.
Yes.
I have hope.
So do we.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see what the next activity is. There something for 1st July?
Yes,
that's
watch out.
That's
There's
more like
something
an
coming.
anniversary.
Yes, it's an anniversary of Occupy Flagstaff House. Yeah. It will be massive.
Okay, so Dr. Esi Ansah is Director Citizen Ghana Movement, and Rodney Hyde London is Director Citizen Ghana Movement as well. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All the best for the many things that you plan to do in the future.
Yes, thank you very much.
When we come back, we're talking WAEC here on the AM Show.